Hey everyone, Troy from RacquetGuys. Today we are reviewing a very special new racket, the new Wilson RF01 Pro, which was designed for and in conjunction with the great Roger Federer. The RF01 Pro was designed by Roger and Wilson when he was still planning on returning to the tour. They were looking to design a racket that would help him compete in the modern game as he aged. Unfortunately, as we all know, he didn't make it back to the tour, but thankfully this racket still made it to production, so we get to enjoy it. The RF01 comes in 3 different models. There's the Pro, the regular version, and the Future, which differ in the weight. Today we're looking at the Pro, which is the heaviest model, which was designed for Roger himself to use. The specs are, it's a 320-gram weight, so it's still a pretty hefty weight frame. Not as heavy as the RF97, his previous racket, so they were looking for something a little bit lighter, a little bit more maneuverable. The balance is still 9 points head light, so really designed for someone that likes to play an all-court game. They did also increase the head size a little bit, just slightly to 98 square inches as opposed to the RF97, which was 97. String pattern remains at a 16 by 19. The key element to this new racket is the SABR Frame Design, which is a complete departure from what Roger was using his entire career. He always used a Wilson Pro Staff model, which has a very traditional box-shaped beam, a very traditional constant beam width. It always had the perimeter weighting system, or PWS, on the side. SABR frame design is very different. As you can see, it has a much more aerodynamic frame geometry. They did this to try to allow for more swing speed and greater maneuverability. It now also has a dual taper beam starting at 22 millimeters at the shaft, moving up to 24 millimeters at the hoop, and then 23.2 millimeters at the top. This still allows good flexibility in the frame and good feel, but the wider beam here provides a little bit more stability. The lack of the perimeter weighting system, I have to assume they took that away because with today's modern materials, Wilson's graphite layups, and the dual taper beam, they no longer needed that PWS system to provide torsional stability. And lastly, it has a much larger shoulder blend here, which they say adds more stability as well. One other new technology that they've incorporated into this racket is called Glide Guard. It is a new, more aerodynamic headguard and grommets to allow for higher swing speeds and more maneuverability. A couple other technologies that they included in this racket are Wilson's 45 carbon layup, which provides excellent stability while providing longer dwell times for more feel and control. And lastly, they have something called Feel Fill, which is a foam injection to reduce unwanted vibration. Now that we have all the specs and technical jargon aside, what you guys really want to know is, how does this racket play? I was very impressed. It's a very unique frame. I can't place it in any particular category of racket. It's not a classic player's frame. It's not a modern player's frame. It's somewhere in between. It was really designed for a player that likes to play all over the court. Think of Roger Federer. He does it from all over. He's great at the baseline. He's terrific up at net, and that's what this racket was designed for. With its extra weight, it provides stability at the baseline, yet the headlight balance still makes it maneuverable when you want to venture up to the net. From the baseline, I found the RF01 Pro to be extremely stable and quite a bit more powerful than I expected. According to the specs, 320-gram weight, 9 points head light, and a RA stiffness of 68. This racket is supposed to be less powerful than the predecessor, the RF97, but I found that it had more power, and when I really leaned into the racket, the ball just shot off the string bed. Although the racket is a little bit lighter than the RF97, it still is a pretty hefty frame, so this is designed for someone who's pretty strong or someone that has really good technique and timing. For example, I have a one-handed backhand, and I found myself late a fair bit on backhands because I had trouble getting the racket around in time. That said, someone younger and with better timing than me might not have that same issue. Many of the rackets that I've tested that have foam injection technology, I find that they have too muted, too cushioned of a feel. I was pleasantly surprised. Although this has the Feel Fill foam injection, it still had a very nice crisp feel on contact. Many of you who may consider this racket may be Pro Staff users, and the Pro Staff, as we mentioned, has a very traditional box-shaped beam. That's what I'm used to. I use a Prestige Pro, which also has a box-shaped beam, so I was a little concerned that I might not like the feel, but definitely give this a try, because even though it does have a modern, more aerodynamic frame shape, I thought that I had really nice feel. the net, this racket played great. Due to the weight and the stiffness of this frame, it provided very crisp, solid, powerful volleys. A little bit difficult to maneuver because it's a heavier frame, but again, this racket is designed for somebody that likes that weight, so you just need to be able to handle it. But up at the net, again, really terrific. On serves, I was generating easy power, lots of spin, and although it was my first time using the racket, I found my precision to be pretty good as well. In summary, the RF01 Pro is a very unique frame. It doesn't fit into any traditional mold or category of rackets. For anyone that likes to play an all-court game and who's pretty physically strong and has good technique and good timing, I would definitely give this racket a whirl. Thanks a lot for watching today. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe and bell notification buttons. If you have any comments or questions, or if there's any other products you'd like us to review, please let us know down below. Of course, the RF01 Pro is available in-store and online at RacquetGuys.ca. See you next time.